Well, hello there. How you doing today? Hope everything is fine and dandy in your little part of this strange realm. And today, well, another romp through the weirdness that is surrounding us. And it's an interesting time. Obviously, we've got all the psyops and false flags going on. Um, but I've just noticed recently too that a lot of people are really starting to question the whole like truth community, if you want to call it that, conspiracy theories, the gurus that have been put up in front of us. There's a lot of questioning of where did all this information come from? Who are these people really, and do they have an agenda? Is the stuff they're telling us real? Is it verified? Where does it come from? Because when you dig into it, most of these theories that people now take as fact, they all come from one source. They really do. Like reptilians, right? Come from David Icke. The UFOs, well, they definitely come from the government, right? Things like the war, World War II, with the Foo Fighters when they first saw them, then that went into Area 51 and the crash in the 50s, which then led on to all the sci fi shows, TV shows, and movies, ending up with the moon landing, the fake moon landing in 69, wasn't it? Star Wars in the 70s. It's a big thing, right? It's a big, basically, predictive programming operation. And it's the same with so many other things. And I think it's really good that people are now really starting to question the narrative because, if we know anything, we know that the elites, those who wish to control us, they control both sides of the narrative, right? It's just like politics, right? Left and right, two wings of one bird. But it's the same with the truth community and conspiracy theories. They knew that people would start asking questions. They knew that people like us would rise and would start digging into things. And so they gave us things to dig into. So it's all up to us to use our discernment to be autodidactic so that we can avoid wasting time going down rabbit holes that never end. So let's jump into it.
That's why they removed all of the radium fireplaces, which everyone in the 1800s was using. Even Thomas Edison can be seen pictured in front of a radium fireplace. Because they found one small lump of radium was equivalent to 20,000 tons of coal, meaning radium could essentially heat your home for up to 1,000 years for nothing. And if we look at the atomic number of radium on the periodic table, it's 88, which is infinite. It's two eights going back and forth, which is an infinite number. And the radium was not just heating their home, it was enhancing their health. Because if we think of the 1800s, people were deeply connected with metals and frequency. And radium, similar to copper, gold, and silver, is actually a metal, which emits its own unique frequency and vibrations. And similar to copper, radium is also conductive as well, meaning that by coming into contact with radium, whether that was through utilizing it in fireplaces or consuming it, which people did, the frequency of the radium would be transferred onto the electrical being, which would then enhance their frequency and instantaneously heal them. And so the elites will tell you radium is toxic, even though they bathe in radium springs. But is this really the truth, or is there more?
There's always more. But yeah, radium. What do you think? What are your thoughts on radium? We have radiators, right? The heaters still. Is that named after radium because they used to be radium? We're told it's because it radiates heat, but who knows? But one thing I do know is there's definitely photos and literature and books and everything about the elites, the Lites, bathing in radium springs. And there were definitely radium springs. It was definitely part of the infrastructure. That much we can prove it as far as we can prove it, right? It's hard to be 100% on anything because who knows? Like we're all using books. That's why it's called research, right? Because we're searching what others have already searched. But as far as I can tell, it seems to be very real. And one of the biggest points is that they will still tell you that it kills you. Radium, it's toxic, right? It's tied right into radiation. So they don't want us to look into it. So that's a big clue for me. But let me know what you think. Was radium once used as a fuel and a heating source?
Right. Okay. So olive oil, 3 stars. Olive oil, right? canola oil, spray, which is 67% canola oil, right? Emulsifier, soy lecithin, and butane gets higher stars than pure olive oil. So you're trying to tell me that a butane-powered GMO oil gets a higher star than a pure olive oil? What the fuck is going on here?
Yes, WTF indeed. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, we know they lie to us. We know that they want to make us sick. We know the food pyramid's all over the place, big pharma, all that kind of stuff. And so, why would we believe that they are going to rate these things according to actual health, right? According to if they're good or bad for us? Clearly, they're not. Clearly, they're going to be rated to trick people into using stuff that's going to make them sick so that they can get them in to the big pharma drug cycle.
The airplane is not even 8 miles away and you can barely see it. And it's the size of a football field. So if that same airplane was 350 miles away, you wouldn't be able to see any part of it at all, ever. It's impossible. Do you get it? So how can you see a satellite at 350 miles away that's the size of a kitchen table? You can't. It's impossible.
Yeah, well, he's right. He's totally right. You know, these satellites, you know, I'm sure you've all seen them, these sort of lights in the sky that are moving and they tell us that they're satellites. It's impossible that they could be satellites, especially if they're telling us that they're 350 miles away in orbit. What might make sense is that they're a lot closer and hanging off balloons. That may be true. That may be what we're seeing, or it might be something completely different. But let me know, what are your thoughts? What do you think these, you know, moving lights in the skies are? Are they satelloons, or are they something different that they're trying to hide?
A lot of these self-proclaimed spiritual teachers and gurus have been repeating the exact same predictions for the past 20 years. Ascension is coming, 5D Earth is coming, humanity is shifting, and the massive disclosure is coming. A consciousness event is coming, and yet decade after decade, nothing actually happens the way they claim it would. So doesn't that mean at a certain point to use some discernment? At some point, people have to start asking themselves if this became less about truth and more about clout, attention, followers, courses, subscriptions. What about the retreats? And making money off of people's hopes and fears. The reality is that people want these things to be true. So when people want to believe there is some magical shift coming, and that's going to suddenly transform the planet and solve humanity's problems, I mean, who wouldn't want that? But wanting something to be true doesn't automatically make it true, guys. And this is actually why many of these figures are now starting to get debunked publicly. The contradictions keep on piling up, and the predictions fail over and over again. Like, has nobody noticed that the dates passed? The events never happen. Then the story changes, the timeline changes, or some explanation changes. It's so annoying. Someone has been predicting the same world-changing event for 20 years, and it never arrives. I mean, people eventually are going to start questioning whether they were ever telling the truth in the first place, right? Like, is any of it even true? And the craziest part is that most of these ideas are not anything new to begin with. Almost everything modern spiritual influencers call 5D Earth Ascension, consciousness shift, the awakening, or higher vibrations are just recycled versions of ancient religious and mystical concepts. I mean, these things have existed for thousands of years under different names. The New Earth concept is one of the biggest examples. Now, in Christian theology, after the chaos, destruction, judgment, and end time events. There is the promise of a renewed world, a new heaven and new earth. Originally, this was not describing people literally vibrating into another dimension. That's the way these modern influencers describe it today. It basically represented divine restoration, a transformation or a transformed creation, and the defeat of evil. And this is also where the concept, like the
concept of what? But yeah, I agree. I agree with her. And, I've never really been one to buy into things very easily. I definitely never judge things as right or wrong until I have a lot of information. And even then, I'm always willing to change my point of view because I don't know. Most of this stuff is an edge, right? The whole Christian thing about the renewed earth, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. That a loving creator God would create this world for us and then let it be overrun by evil and destroyed just so he could create it again. How does that make any sense? But it's so true. This whole new earth 5D thing, a lot of that came out of Dolores Cannon. But what really, set it off for me, sort of really, made me question everything was 2020 and the whole Q movement, right? Where just don't worry, guys, we've got this one. Sit down, don't do anything. The white hats are in control. Now, that was 6 years ago. And what's happened? There was so much talk about, they're setting people, they're setting the children free. They got, these leaders at Guantanamo Bay and they've all been executed and all this stuff. 6 years later, we've got no proof that any of that happened, right? But a lot of people are still hanging on to that. The whole 5D Earth. This is why I started talking. It was almost a year ago now about the 3D Earth. I was like, not the 5D. We need to get back to the 3D Earth, the 3D world, nature. It's already here. It's just outside your door. Well, for most people, and the 2D world. That's how I see it. And I don't see it as some magical ascension. I see it as something that we need to create, right? We need to get out there and reconnect with the earth. We need to learn how to work with the earth, how to use its abundance to make us abundant, how to stop giving our attention so much to the 2D world. I mean, that is, to me, something real that we can do, right? This whole 5D ascension thing, what can you do to create that? And yes, the mantra has been raise your vibration, and I agree with that as far as you need to, get rid of all your trauma, all your bad thoughts, everything that's holding you back. You need to get into a space of, accepting yourself for who you are and that you're already enough. And then put action in, start moving, start doing something. If you're going to sit back and just believe that, the white hats have got it, or Jesus is returning, or the aliens are coming to save us, well, what happens if they don't? Then you are not in a good position, are you? So be responsible for yourself. Responsibility is respondability, the ability to respond to things that come at you in your life. So let's go out, rejoin nature, and build this new earth ourselves. And it's really not a new earth. It's just building the earth, into something that we want to contribute in, that we want to experience. What do you think? Leave your thoughts below.
Is anyone else excited? Like, can you not wait for total UFO and alien disclosure? The most exciting part that I'm waiting for, con tantísima ansia, is when all of these people that are LARPing to be aliens and channelers and talking to the Galactic Federation, what are y'all gonna do when it's public knowledge that you didn't? What are you gonna do? They're gonna fall, all these false prophets and spiritual gurus, they're all gonna come crumbling down. Like, what are you gonna do when the real information is disclosed and everything you've ever said is BS, lies, manipulations, clout chasing, piggybacking, whatever you want to call it? What are you going to do? I am so curious. Like, I would really be panicking if I was one of these false prophets and spiritual gurus. What are you going to do? First of all, you're going to be humiliated. And plus, I don't think those pesky aliens want you to be lying about them. Somebody up there in some real Galactic Federation is like, girl, no, I didn't say that. Like, what are they going to do? I love it. This is going to be very entertaining. If not for anything, just like, oh, cool. What the Galactic Federation see today? Can you remote view up in their meeting place? Are they on the moon? Or on the floating space station?
Yes. Well, do you believe in the Galactic Federation? I think that's what they're called. Like, what's the dude? Zohar, or I don't know. They've all got names, right? There's all these space alien races, right? The Palladians and the, I don't really know them very well. The Blue Avians, the Andromedans, that's another one, right? The Reptilians. You know, we've got all of these races and all of these people, channelers, remote viewers, telling us that they're talking to them and they're getting messages to come and deliver to us. Do you believe that? And, you know, if you do, that's your right. You know, I could be wrong because I don't believe in them. The main thing is the message has been the same, you know, like she said, for like 20 years plus, right? We love you so much. We're going to save you. We're going to save you. Like they've been saying this for 20 years, you know, while they let war and famine and trafficking, you know, just keep going and all this death and destruction and our rights being taken away. But they love us. You know, it's a lot like the God of religions, right? You know, he loves you. You're his favorite creation, but he's just going to let, you know, all this evil, you know, run around and basically make your life suck. That's why I don't believe in formal religions. I definitely believe in the creator, but the creator to me is not a being. It's an energy. It's the energy that binds and animates all things, right? It's intelligent energy, the ether, if you want to call it that, Mother Nature, right? But it's not some dude on a cloud or in a spaceship or whatever. Now, that's the false God. That's the God who is jealous and demands worship and sacrifice. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think everyone's going to catch on to this? Because I've never bought into any of this stuff. It's too much of an edge for me. I cannot prove any of it. And it is a religion because you have to put faith in other people and their message. And it's because you cannot prove it to yourself. But as always, let me know your thoughts. Do you think that the Galactic Federation and all these other, you know, alien races, do you think they exist? Do you think they're going to come and help? Or do you think it's up to us to actually make our own decisions, take our own actions, and save ourselves?
Prisoners get free uniform. Learners don't have free uniform. The uniform she's wearing, the mother bought it. She doesn't get it for free. She wants a free uniform. She must go to prison. How do you give prisoners free uniform and you don't give learners free uniform? You give prisoners flushing toilet. Students, learners in the Eastern Cape don't have flushing toilets. Prisoners have. You give prisoners breakfast, lunch, supper. Our people in Alexander, if they have a meal that day, they are very fortunate. But prisoners have got a guaranteed meal.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. That's a very good reason why we should never, ever trust these government officials or anyone in the government, because that is true, right? You do something wrong, you hurt other people, you steal, you cause loss or damage, and you go to prison where you get free clothes, you get free house and board, you get fed, you get looked after, you get medical care, all of this stuff. But if you're a human out there working, what do you get? At school, when he says learners, he's talking about people going to school, children. They don't get free uniforms, don't get free books, don't get free food, right? They're treated worse than prisoners. And of course, we know they're trying to, you know, make the schools look like prisons. Now they're all surrounded in fences, right? That never was the case when I was young. But it's a very good question. Why do we treat prisoners better than we treat our own children?
The following footage documents Forrester Watershed and his lifelong mission to heal injured trees. Forrester is demonstrating his mastery of tree grafting, a technique he has refined over 25 years of dedicated practice in the forest outside Asheville, North Carolina. He moves methodically from tree to tree, identifying specimens that have lost limbs to storm damage, old age, or outside interference. Forrester does not consider himself an arborist. He considers himself a healer. Each graft is performed in silence. Forrester has stated that the trees respond better without unnecessary noise. Forrester asks for nothing in return. He stated, "It is payment enough to just know that when I die, that I will have had a positive impact in my own small way."
Very cool. There you go. Someone out there actually taking action to create the world that they want to inhabit. And I think we all need to take a leaf out of his book.
You know why we're not seeing what's going on in Italy right now? It's because Oracle doesn't want you to. So over in Italy, they stopped buying anything for the economy. They stopped purchasing a single thing. They stopped going to work. They stopped doing everything except hanging out in their house for a month. For a month, they said, fuck the government, fuck the economy, and look, when you stop purchasing and giving them what they want, then we win. It's not protesting, it's not fighting back on TikTok, it's not making videos complaining, and I'm guilty of it as well. But the reason why none of us are seeing what's going on in Italy is because we're silenced from it. Italy went on a ban. They said, I'm not going to contribute $1 to the economy, and let's see who wins. And look at that. They have won, and they have sat back now for a month, not working, hanging out at their house, not spending a dime outside, and they are winning. And now, they realized they don't need fancy purchases, they don't need fancy cars, they don't need fancy food from restaurants, they don't need to go out and buy things every day. They realize that, wow, what I have here is actually pretty amazing, and a simple life is kind of better than the life we were living. So the day we stop giving in, stop putting money into the economy, stop going to work collectively as a country, is the day we will win. It's that simple. It is that simple. Stop being so afraid. It can't get any worse.
There you go. There you go. There's another solution. Stop funding the system, right? That only exists to enslave you, to keep you down. Of course, yesterday's video, we had some videos on tax and how you do not have to pay it. So the websites were there. If you didn't see it, go and check it out. But there you go, like determined action. This, again, is how we create the new world that we all keep talking about. We all keep saying we want it. You know, everyone's like, oh my God, the government. Well, it's action that's going to change things. A different action will bring a different reality, right? A different solution. And it's up to us. We can't sit here waiting for somebody to come and save us, because why? Because the government will jump in and they will create something. And we know every time they do that, it ends up really bad for us.
Where do we even begin? Well, let's begin.
Maybe you should begin with telling everyone exactly who and what you are.
Actually, where we left off last night. Last night, we were essentially told not to believe our own eyes. Well, since then, guys, the FBI has come out and they have confirmed. Thank goodness they confirmed.
Thank you so much, Candace, for letting us all know this. And thank you so much for giving us all reasons to feel like we can trust you.
That, yes, Trump survived an assassination attempt because, in case you missed it, Joe Biden came out, gave us 2 minutes, and he communicated that they weren't sure whether or not it was an assassination attempt. They were waiting for facts. So let's not rush. Let's not rush to any conclusions. And that is the perfect place to start, you guys, because that's where we are at right now in our society. That final instruction, not to believe your own eyes, not to believe your own ears, to wait until the authoritarians come out and tell you what is real.
Yes, we're completely aware of where we're at. Thank you for constantly stating the obvious.
That's actually where we are, specifically in Western society. People go with that. I will guarantee you that a part of the population went to sleep last night and said, we don't know if it's an assassination attempt yet. We should wait to find out. We should wait until our government confirms. We should wait until the FBI, the most corrupt government organization that's plausibly ever existed.
No shit, the FBI can't be trusted. No shit, thank you. See, this is how controlled opposition gains you trust. They make you think that they're on your side.
Lets us know that it was, in fact, a failed assassination attempt. Well, guys, as I said, it has been confirmed. Another far-right conspiracy theory has come true. Wait, we'll get to the headlines. They were making fun of Tucker when he said this. Tucker's pushing this conspiracy theory that Donald Trump may be assassinated. I don't know why he would say such a thing. Oh, constant headlines because he's been under attack ever since he's been free. It's almost every day now. They just keep attacking Tucker. They keep attacking me. They keep attacking every person who's coming to you and saying something very evil is going on. People that have the courage to call what we are seeing. Right?
Yes, that's you guys' job as controlled opposition, is to push controlled conspiracy theories.
One of the things that we're going to do here is we're going to name the shooter. I know there's a lot of organizations and companies that say we shouldn't do that because that's what they want. You know, they want to be known. They want their name to be remembered. Let me tell you something. I not only want this person's name when this stuff happens, I want to know everything about that individual. I want to know what they ate for breakfast. I want to know what sports they were involved in. I want to know who their friends were. I want to know the last message they sent. I want to know who their parents are. I want to know what their parents do for a living.
See right here, she's continuing to get you to believe that this is a real situation and that it is a real person. Like, oh, I want to know who his family is and what they do and all this. So you see how she's questioning how it happened and if it may or may not have been an assassination attempt? But what she's not doing is questioning if it even happened at all. By doing what she's doing, she's getting you to believe that it did happen. This is one of the main objectives of controlled opposition, is to get you to question the narrative of how it happened, but not if it happened. She's like, oh, well, let's not jump to conclusions. We don't know if it may or may not have even been an assassination attempt. This is how she approaches every situation that she talks about. They know that half of people out here are still going to question the narrative, so this is the path they want you to follow to get you to still believe the narrative. Whether you think it happened one way or it happened another way, it doesn't matter to them because you're still thinking that it happened.
Well, yes. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? If they get you to believe something's true, then most people will believe the opposite's true. Just like they're all, devil worshippers, right? That information is allowed to get out and is even promoted up. And what's the reverse of that? The God of the Bible is true. Religion, which to me is just another control system. So if they can get you to believe the devil is true, they can get you to believe the Bible is true as well. And he's correct. Why was she never even asking the question, is this all staged? There's AI video was coming out, right, from that event that was clearly AI. But she didn't bring that up, did she? So she was definitely giving the narrative that it happened. Right, so now we have to find out who and why. So very psyop-y. And so what do you think about Candace Owen? She's now the biggest podcaster in the world. And it's my opinion that people don't get up that high unless they are at least complicit knowingly, or they do what they're told, unknowingly are complicit. But if you look into Candace and who she's married to and who that guy is, it all becomes a bit more clear what's going on.
This is one of the most thrilling hiking trails in China, and it's not for the faint of heart. Located in Chongqing's Wushan region, this trail starts at Wuxia Entrance and climbs all the way to Denglong Peak, one of the iconic 12 peaks of the Yangtze River's three gorges. The hike stretches about 7.5 miles along a narrow mountain ridge, with over 3,400 feet of elevation gain. From above, it looks like a giant dragon stretched across the mountains, earning it the name Dragon's Spine. Along the way, you'll pass stunning viewpoints like Wenfeng and Guanzhen. The hike is moderately challenging and takes around 5 hours to complete, but the real reward? Every single step comes with breathtaking views.
Would you walk that? I mean, it looks pretty stunning, but it also looks like it's a long way down if you slip, right? That was a pretty thin trail. But, that's another thing, right? Dragon's Spine, and that mountain range has come up before recently in videos, right? People saying that it's a real dragon. Is it? Well, it could be and it couldn't be. The truth is we don't know. right? Unless we get up there and do proper soil samples and get in there and see if there's remains of bones and blood and all that, we don't know, right? There is pareidolia, right? Just because something looks like something doesn't mean it is. And this is a whole nother narrative that a lot of people just believe because there's lots of content on it, right? All the titans, all the mountains are giants, and there's all these animals in the ground. In fact, the dragon one is big. There's lots of people. It was a couple of months ago, right? Everyone was showing one near Venezuela in Central America there, and fittest flat earther, right? He did a couple of videos saying that volcanoes, I think he was saying, were the stomachs of dragons, because obviously they spew fire, right? Just like dragons do. But does that mean it's real? No, it doesn't. And the other thing about fittest flat earther is all his videos, of saying, everyone's just, all these celebrities are just fallen angels, right? And they don't die, they just change roles. And again, that may be true. Like that, I don't believe in the fallen, I don't believe in the Bible thing, but I could be wrong there too. But, that's a narrative he's pushing. And of course, that's very Christian orientated, right? Like if there's fallen angels out there, well, we better join the church, right? Get baptized. So you see what they can do. If you believe one thing, then you probably believe the opposite to that. And that is a control mechanism. I mean, there's no way that we can prove at the moment if these guys are fallen angels, if they're clones, if they're vampires, if they're just very long lived. We just don't know. We know there's something weird going on, but we also know it could all be AI because we see it all, 100% of it, in the 2D world, right? People aren't seeing this for themselves. It's all put in front of us in an electronic way. So it could just all be manipulation, AI, all that kind of stuff. So again, it's my opinion that you probably just shouldn't believe something just because someone says it. Right? Get as much information as you can on the topic, and as you get more and more reference points, you'll start to get more and more of your own opinion. It will become more right or more wrong to you. But if you judge it as right or wrong, you're stuck. Right? If you believe it's right, then you can't see any information that will tell you it's wrong. And that's the other big thing. We've got to be big enough people to admit that we can be wrong.
Look, that's our ship! Purple!
Emergency message. Outbreak of the deadly virus is spreading rapidly.
The virus?
Worrying new challenge in efforts to contain the hantavirus.
All we want right now is to feel safe.
For now, nobody is being allowed off the boat.
All ships must remain at sea.
Have fun! Like booze!
It's the same disease that killed Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman.
Was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
They're buying it. They're buying it.
Your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare or a virus. What killed those men? A silent weapon for a quiet war.
Quiet weapon for silent wars. I'm pretty sure that's like a dossier, right? A file from one of the three-letter agencies. Maybe it's a book, but it's definitely out there. And do you believe it? Do you believe it? I mean, that's an interesting clip, right? That's proof, really, that we need to at the very least, question this and not believe it, right? Look into it. And we may find it's true. I very much doubt that. Or we will, prove to ourselves that it's just another psyop. Doesn't exist. It's not real. That guy who got out and made the video, we're people too. He's been proven pretty much that he's an actor. Like, it was a very fake video, only one video put out from, 120 plus people on the boat. Very sus, right? And then, of course, The Simpsons and The X-Files both talking about it. And The Simpsons, we've seen this going for years now. And everyone's saying, oh my God, The Simpsons are predicting the future. They're predicting the future. Is Matt Groening, is he a time traveler? Is that how they're doing it? Well, I would say the answer is probably a lot simpler than that. The answer, in my humble opinion, is that they have scripted their plan decades ahead. And they knew this was all going to come to a head. They knew this was all going to play out. And so The Simpsons is not predicting the future, it's predictive programming. It's putting all these concepts into our subconscious mind in the effort that we will accept them more easily when they bring them out of their playbook. Okay, so all the world's a stage, guys. I've been saying it for a very long time. You can't believe any of it. It's all about fear. It's all about control. Freedom is on the other side of thinking for yourself. And there we go. That's another one done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you did enjoy it, please do give me a like. Leave me your comments. What did you think about it all? And of course, share it around and hype it up. And I'll greatly appreciate it. Let's get this information out to as many people as we can, because, there really is, a big operation, right? A big psyop. We know that the elites, they control both sides of the narrative, right? They planned decades ahead. They definitely knew that there would be the rise of the conspiracy theorists, right? The rise of people who were starting to see through their plan, through their script. And so, of course, they created the other side so they could control that as well. They put out all the stories, made all the rabbit holes, so we would spend all our time going down them and not be focusing on what they're really doing behind the scenes, right? And you can see with so many of these theories, they come from one or very few people. The whole Anunnaki, space alien thing is Sitchin, right? And then you look into the Galactics and all that. I'm sure, I don't know who that is, but I'm sure that comes from just a couple of people, the whole channeling thing. Of course, a lot of it comes from Dolores Cannon. That's the 5D world, the split, all that kind of stuff. Aliens in general, straight from the government, right? World War II through to Roswell, the crash landing in the 50s, going to the moon, apparently in the 60s, Star Wars in the 70s. It's a big psyop, right? It's a big predictive program. And this is, what we really need to understand and to get proper discernment is we need to come to our own conclusions. We need to be autodidactic, following gurus and just following things and believing them because the majority does. That's not really thinking. It's not really doing proper, we'll call it searching, right? Not research. Let's call it searching from now on. It's not proper searching for answers. It's just letting someone else do it for you, which is the program. That's what they teach us in school. Don't ask silly questions. Just believe what you're told by the teacher, right? And then we go through into work and we do the same with the boss and the doctor and the politicians and everything. So we've got to break that program, get out and really just find everything interesting, get information on it, and just don't be so quick to judge things as right or wrong, right? I just find things interesting, and it's good. I don't tend to get stuck down rabbit holes at all because I just don't know, and I know that I don't know, right? And when you know that you don't know, then you've got an open mind. And of course, the biggie is be able to admit that we're wrong sometimes. Like, even if it's 20 years of searching, you can still be wrong. But unless you can admit that, then you're going to be stuck again. So all of this stuff really is just about getting us stuck. So it's time to get unstuck, right? Be unstuckable. But there we go, guys. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for everyone who does like this, my shows, hype them up, all the comments. They're really great. Thank you for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Everyone who donates and supports me in that way as well. Yes, I really appreciate you all, and thank you. And stay awesome. And I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Steven!
We can't do that to Dog. He can't walk.
How'd she get up there? Oh, that's outside.
I'll be right back. Move your nose.
Give me my shoe. I know it. It hurts so bad.
Mick, come here. Come here. Let's get a treat.
Mr. Horse, are you coming to get some?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm using the bathroom. Chop. Chopper.
Are you okay? Look at this distinguished gentleman. Look at the way he is sitting, yes.
What are you doing?
1, 2, 3. Oh my God! Oh! Hey!